my goodness, guys. Welcome back to our latest interview with the Wolf and the Crows. You know who you had on this week, Andy?
Yeah, Sam Coleman. You told me on the phone.
Young Hodor. He gave us a lovely little interview. He's due to go to Con of Thrones this year in July. He's due to it, like
he's not going. He's not going. Maybe he'll be there next year. Next year. Because obviously stuff's being cancelled. Not the Wolf and the Crows. Can't cancel the Wolf and the Crows.
Here to keep you entertained.
Fuck a coronavirus. We can't get around that. We ran from 120,000 zombies. Well, I ran. I carried Bobby. But like, we get rid of coronavirus, no problem. Coronavirus, Night King. Fuck, who's more fucking scary? Night King, obviously.
Okay. Yeah. So, do you want to check this video out then?
Let's watch it.
Yeah.
Class, man.
Today we have the one and only Sam Coleman in. Willis, aka Young Hodor. How you doing today?
Yeah, not too bad.
Sam.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, again, thank you very much for coming on to the YouTube channel here.
My pleasure.
Firstly, how did you land the role of Willis, Young Hodor, and how did you find the sort of experience itself working on the show?
Yeah, so first of all, I'd recently signed up with an agent a couple of months prior to the audition for Game of Thrones, as sort of something I was looking to get into, maybe possibly being an extra in EastEnders or something like that. You know, the drill. And I thought, I'll sign up with an agent. I might get a few small roles as I'm sort of doing college and university and things, and might help me build up a bit of a CV. And then I think it was, well, actually before Thrones, I had an audition for Leatherface, the film, which was only my second ever audition.
That was before Thrones?
Yeah, so it was my second ever audition, and somehow I got the role there. So that was crazy. So I just finished filming that. And I was like, that's me made for like 10 years. I'm never going to do anything again. That was incredible. I was 18 at the time, and I was like, bloody hell, I've been in a horror film. That's enough for me. And my agent sent me to this audition for Game of Thrones, and obviously the character profile didn't say Young Hodor. It just said large, stable boy. And the age bracket was, I think, 11 to 12. And obviously I was 18 at the time. I was 18 at the time, so I didn't think that I would be right for the role. And I was going along to this audition thinking, why has my agent put me up for a 12-year-old's role when I'm 18? This is going to be ridiculous. But because it was Game of Thrones, I thought, might as well, bloody give it a go. So I went along, and somehow I got the role. But it was, it's an absolutely incredible experience.
Did I read somewhere as well that you didn't actually know that the role was for Young Hodor? Again, like I say, you thought it was just for Stable Boy. You didn't sort of get the connection of it was actually going to be playing the role of Hodor as a child.
Yeah. So after I'd gotten the role of large stable boy, I went along to the screen tests that they do, where they put you in the costumes and they sort your hair out and they have a look how you're going to look with all the other actors on camera and stuff. And so I went over to Belfast for the screen test, and I still thought I was playing the large stable boy. And I went into the costume department, and the lovely costume people were putting a costume on me. And the head of the costume department said, I think the older Hodor wears something a bit like this. And at that point, I was like, wait, what? What do you mean the older Hodor? No, I'm large stable boy. You've got the wrong person. But I left anyway, and I was thinking in my head, like, why did she say that? What did that mean? And then I finally met the writers, and Jeremy Podwayser, who was one of the directors for my first scene, he said to me, you're Young Hodor, right? And at that point, I didn't. I was like, no, I don't. So it was almost like everyone just presumed I'd been told, but no one had told me.
I mean, were you a fan of the show before you saw it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was an absolutely massive fan. I started watching it only a couple of months before I got the audition, so I'd missed the original hype of the show. And a couple of my friends watched it, and they were always telling me, Sam, this is something you'll love. It's your kind of thing. And
Yeah.
because I was doing my A levels at the time, I knew I was going to end up sort of binging it instead of revising. But I think after Leatherface, I thought I'm going to treat myself to a sort of a binge of Game of Thrones, if you like, and I did, and I was obsessed with it. And then the audition came through, and so it was kind of serendipity that I just got into this show and fell in love with it as a fan, and then suddenly I got a role in it. But I'm an absolutely massive fan of the show.
We've got a friend from one of our Patreons, from Georgia Cassidy, and she has asked, do you think Hodor knew of his destiny? The incident of Winterfell. She's obviously referring to your scenes.
Mm. I'm not sure, to be honest. I think obviously when Young Hodor, when that whole warging thing happens, I think
Yeah.
Young Hodor hears that hold the door, realizes it's an instruction for him, and because of all the, I don't know, temporal boujou magic, whatever's happening, it sort of messes with his psyche. But I don't think he has like sight into the future, so I don't think he knows that Oldham is
Yeah.
going to be holding that door. I just think he's sort of subconsciously, it builds into him this weird compulsion that he must hold the door. He doesn't know what it means, but he's sort of become a one track sort of creature in a way that's sort of purely on this mission to hold the door. He doesn't know why, I don't think.
Yeah, just focused on that. Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
George knows.
Next question for Patreon here. We've got John Conley. He's asked, what was your all-time favorite scene from Game of Thrones?
Oh, so my favorite scene would be Shireen's death, I think. It's also probably the scene that made me cry the most. Obviously, my scene didn't make me cry
Yeah.
because I was in it, and so I couldn't watch it without cringing incredibly. But Shireen's death, just that whole... You've got Kerry, who plays Shireen, acting incredibly. You've got, Stannis, and you've got the whole armies just standing there watching this young girl burn to death. You've got the scream of her just being like, "Mother!" And then you've got the violins come in, and you can see the mum suddenly realizing she's made a mistake. Oh, just the whole thing. It just sends shivers down my spine. And that is just, it's beautiful, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you like season 8 yourself, dare I ask?
I did like it, actually. I think the danger with shows like Game of Thrones is because people love it so much and they get into the world so much. The ending's always going to be cursed because everyone has their own version of what they think the ending is going to be. And over the years that
Yeah.
the books have been coming out and the seasons, obviously, the TV shows obviously extrapolated that, but everyone's all got their ideas of how they want it to end and their perfect ending of who would sit on the throne or what would happen in the end. And so it was never going to live up to that. It was never going to live up to the imagination of the millions and millions of fans because, it's a TV show. They haven't, imagination is infinite, but their budgets are not. So, I think it was good. There was a few things I think they could have taken longer on it. I think they rushed some things where they could have maybe explored stories a bit more. But to be honest, I think they saw that the ending
Okay, yeah.
needed to happen, and the longer they dragged it out, it would slowly decline, as most TV shows do.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan, and most fans, they probably didn't want to see it end either. We're going to move out to some other work that you've worked on. Sam, I'm a big Metallica fan myself, and I noticed that you were in a Man on Cat video, and then when I was looking through your IMDb, I spotted that you're also in Lords of Chaos. I trailer for that and thought that's pretty much the same as a Metallica video there. So can you tell us a bit about the process of sort of working on the music video?
Yeah, so that was an absolutely another instance of serendipity, I guess. So I did an audition for Lords of Chaos, and actually that time I auditioned for it I think it was in August, and I didn't hear anything about it until October, where suddenly my agent rang me and said, "Sam, you're flying out to Hungary in a week." Because it took so long, I presumed that I hadn't got the role, so I presumed that job was dead in the water.
Yeah.
So suddenly to find out that I had been cast, and actually that apparently they'd made the decision to cast me like way back at the beginning of September, and just no one had told me again. that was quite a whirlwind. But so I went out and I got to be in Lords of Chaos, and because Jonas Ackerland, who directs it, is like one of the best music video directors in the world. He's done Kylie, Madonna, Lady Gaga, you name it, he's done it.
Yeah.
And Metallica had sort of realized that he was doing this movie about black metal, and I think they reached out to him as he was directing their other music videos anyway for their album. They said, sort of, can we use the cast of Lords of Chaos and have them be in our music video for Man Unkind? And so one day while we were filming a concert scene anyway for Lords of Chaos, where all of the band were playing the songs of Mayhem, who were the band that Lords of Chaos was about. And Jonas said, right, now we're going to do a Metallica song, so here we go. And so and it was just as part of a normal day of filming, but suddenly we were all in a Metallica video, you know, which is an incredible serendipity again.
Another thing we noticed online, Sam, is you're also a bit of a you've written a song, Hold the Door, is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that song or any of the poetry you write, is that available anywhere for fans to read or listen to this Hold the Door song?
Yeah, so I think there is some bits online. That song is on my SoundCloud, I believe. Now that was a bit of a joke actually, because while we were filming Game of Thornes, I had a bit of banter with Sebastian Croft, who plays the young Ned Stark in my scenes, and we were joking about the fact that because at that time nobody knew about the whole Hold the Door thing, we could write a song called Hold the Door and like release it as soon as the episode aired and beat everyone to the punch and go viral and everything. And we sort of joked about it. And then I think it must have been at some point where I had nothing to do for a few hours. I sat down on my piano and thought, yeah, I'll write a Hold the Door song, that'd be funny. And I put it on SoundCloud after the episode aired, and suddenly people like actually really liked it, and I was like, oh, okay, it was just a bit of a sort of crack, if you like. But you know, but poetry wise, I don't think there's much of my poetry online. I tend to write poetry as quite a personal thing, but there might be some fluttering about somewhere, I don't know. It usually gets out there somehow.
No plans to publish any of it, and
Possibly in the future, maybe, but I don't. It's one of those things I do just as a bit of a boredom killer, really. I don't think there's too much intent behind it or anything.
You're 23 at the moment, is that correct? Yeah. I mean, a young man with many talents. I believe you're also a councilor for Rother District. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes, it is. So,
I mean, firstly, you find the time for it.
Yeah. So, well, how I find the time for it, I just don't sleep, basically. But no, yeah. So I think it was in May last year, in 2019, I decided to stand as a local councillor for my area, because I always talk. Everyone always talks, a lot of sort of smack about how they'd improve things if they were a politician or whatever, or how councillors and MPs or whatever don't do a good job. And I thought, well, actually, hang on, it's all very well, saying I could do better. Why don't I actually stand and try and do better? And so that's what I did. And it's been an absolutely incredible experience being able to actually change people's lives in that sort of local way.
A lot of young people should get more involved with
Absolutely.
it. I believe, like, yeah. Sam, you're also in the mind reading, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been doing it? And do you have any sort of any of the big ones like that Darren Brown, or that they sort of influence you, or did you grow up sort of watching them?
Yeah. So that's I think mentalism, or what is essentially psychological illusions, I guess you could call it. It's been an interest of mine since I was maybe 12, 13. Obviously, like a lot of kids, I think, especially in the UK, I got one of those like Marvin Magic kits for Christmas when I was like 10. And I think every kid gets involved in sort of magic tricks in some way, or most kids do. And I just sort of never grew out of it. And I think Darren Brown was actually probably, he's probably one of the most influential people in my sort of teenage years, actually, because his show Trick of the Mind and Mind Control and all of his TV programs were on Channel 4 for most of my teenage years, like on repeat
Yeah.
every evening, and they used to be the things that I'd stay up late and watch on the telly. And then when I got to see some of his live shows when I was a little bit older, it just absolutely inspired me. And I thought I have to know how he does this. I have to, do, because I'm an actor and I enjoy stage and theatre craft and such. And that was just like a whole new level of stagecraft where not only were you performing, but you were also interacting with the audience, and it set my inspiration alight. And so now I'm 23. I spent a couple of years sort of researching it and digging deep and reading all of these books in sort of weird magical languages and stuff. And then I think last year I started performing. I've done a couple of stage shows, and it's probably the most exciting type of theatre there is, I think.
Excellent. Tour. I mean, I love Darren Byrne, and there's a local guy in Northern Ireland here, David Mead. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you decide to go on tour, let us know, and we'll definitely come and check that out, because it's something I enjoy myself as well. Let me see, conventions then. I believe you've done a handful of conventions. You were at Con of Thrones, I believe, in 2017 and 2018. How do you find the Game of Thrones fans sort of at the convention?
Well, yeah, I mean, fans generally, more generally speaking, I don't think there is a better group of fans than the Thrones fans in terms of that sort of community feel. And at the cons, you sort of, I think you meet the sort of the best of them, really. Con of Thrones, the reason I've been twice and I'm going back again, and I actually wanted to go last year, but I wasn't invited. But the reason, I enjoy things like Con of Thrones so much is because, aside from the fact that I love talking to people generally, the people there are just so kind and so just incredibly cool, I guess is the term. And also to see people take such an interest in one subject area, and it's I don't know, it's just everyone there is just so nice and so awesome. And I just
the cosplaying as the characters, I mean, they're amazing. So there are some of the ones that they come up with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Final question from our Patreons. This one is from Di McElroy. She wants to know, do you keep in touch with any of the future for Sam?
So I keep in touch with a couple of the actors from Thrones, mainly the people who were in my my actual scenes. So Sebastian Croft, who played young Ned Stark, for example, and a couple of others that I've met at conventions and things. But I don't keep in touch with too many of them. I think because my scenes were set in the past, we kind of filmed quite separately to the guys who were filming in the present. And so I didn't get to meet too many of the big names, certainly. But those who I meet at conventions and stuff, I mean, they're also lovely. Miltos, who I think you've met, Kerry, who played Shireen, Amy.
He's every year. So
yeah, Miltos. I mean, Miltos is like a legend, absolute legend.
Yeah.
Possibly my favourite human being in the world. Certainly one of them. Yeah. So what's in the future for me? I guess. I don't know really. I like to, if you pardon the pun, I like to hold my doors open. That was awful. I'm sorry. No, but I'm not a big fan of like future planning. A lot of people sort of set goals, and when you set goals, you either achieve them, and then it's like, where do you go from there, or you fail at achieving them, and then you feel like you haven't succeeded. So I like to just live in the now, as sort of someone a little bit more hippie-esque might say, and sort of just see what the future takes me, really.
Obviously, Game of Thrones was such a big impact on Northern Ireland here, and it changed so many lives and so many levels that you could say that you took away from your time on Thrones.
That's a tough one, actually, because there were so many things. I mean, from the show itself, I think the one thing I'll take away is just the sort of family feel of the whole production. Like, I mean, when I joined, it was season 6, so they'd already been going quite a while, and so it was like a well-oiled machine. Like, you turned up, and everyone knew who everyone was, what they were doing, where they were going. It was like watching like cogs in motion. But like, everyone is just so kind, and they just embrace you as part of that family, and also the people of Belfast as well, who equally, I think, have embraced the show mostly, and embraced the people in the show as sort of part of their community. And that I was made to feel very welcome by everyone I met when I was over there, and I think that was really lucky because that was only like my second proper filming experience, and so I was very lucky to have that. And also, big shout out, especially given I'm talking to you, to the background actors and whatnot, because they really do make the show. Well, I mean, I think I spent most of my time whilst on set talking to a guy called Adrian, who played one of the Stark guards, who I think you might know Adrian. And just hearing like his experiences and stuff, it was really inspiring.
Well, listen, Sam, again, thank you so much for coming on is one of these awesome Wolf and Crows vinyl stickers available on our Redbubble shop. So we'll get that stuck in the post. Nice wee space on your over your left shoulder there. You can put that up. But yes, all that leaves us for then is a sign off. Thanks for answering the questions for our Patreons. And Sam, for the watch.
Hold the door.
Well, what do you think of that?
Brilliant.
The quality was so fucking superb, wasn't it?
Do you know, Sam's like, just, a broad young actor, and he's coming into everything and all this here kind of stuff. And what a role to really start off with.
The amount of stuff that he's into, like, very talented. And his mind reading and his politics and his poetry. And
I wish he had it done a wee bit of
songwriting,
mentalism,
and acting, and fucking
yeah,
everything.
Some kid, alright.
Interesting guy, talented young man.
Some kid, alright.
There was
good. So good at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously
Awesome.
he did it, so he's going to be the best at doing it.
Yeah.
Aye, I enjoyed that. Another good interview from you, Bobby.
Yeah. Smack my ass and called me entertained.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, guys. Give us a wee ding there. Just a wee lick of the finger. And
You shouldn't be licking your finger.
Oh, shit, no.
You can't do that.
Look at
You
this.
can't do that.
The bell has now been... We're going to have
It's contaminated.
We're going to have to have it sterilised.
Ding the bell.
Ding
Go.
the bell.
Bong.
There we go.
There we go.
Sound effects, everything on that.
Yeah.
I like a bomb.
Saves me editing.
Right then. Hi, guys. Brilliant. No,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Don't forget
Really good
to tune in, guys, again if you're following. On Sunday, 7 p.m. for our latest rewatches.
Yep.
Season 1.
Because like we were actually in the show as well. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna turn up to some fan who's done that we love the fans.
Yeah.
But who's some fan who's done a live stream going, yeah, this is what I thought was this. I don't agree with this at all. I'm going, shut the fuck up. We were in it.
We were there.
Watch it with us. Far better. You know what I mean? And we'll be able to tell you what's happening behind the camera as well, or just off camera.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
A full insight, in-depth sort of rewatch.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Jon
great.
Snow's fighting a White Walker. Hired home just off camera. There's two boys smoking. Do you know what I mean?
Me and Bobby.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Usually, yeah. And all the Wayans are down. Welcome. Wildlings. Nice one. Aye, sweet. So, without further ado, there's only one thing left to do.
What's that?
And that is to sign out of the Vegetip. Bobby!
The Vegetip.
The Vegetip.
I like
That's
that.
how they say it in the countryside here in Northern Ireland.
Right, about vegetable.
Vegetip. Fucking... It's a videotape, but they call it the Vegetip.
All right.
Vegetip.
Okay. All right.
Aye.
All right.
Do you know what, like, medium in the country is medium.
Medium.
Yes.
Medium.
Medium.
Vegetip
Yeah.
and medium.
Yeah.
Medium. There we go.
Anyway,
Sign out, Bobs.
for the watch.
For the watch.
Aye. Watch remembers.